Hey, what's going on? Stokes here. I shouldn't be making mouth sounds when I'm doing a podcast, right? That's probably bad practice. But hair loss is experienced by roundabouts 80% of men, by their mid 50s. 25% of men by their late teens, 18 years old. Men are experiencing hair loss. So the majority of us are going to experience some hair loss. And I mean, based on the two previous episodes where we discussed the liver and we discussed finasteride, if you look into it, your liver functionality decreases with age, just like every part of your body, and the likelihood of impotence increases with age. And even though finasteride is not a erectile dysfunction related drug, it does affect the reproductive system. I made mention of ginseng. Ginseng is used as an aphrodisiac somewhat. But I still haven't spoken about sugar yet, and sugar connects to all of that. But with age, you're more likely to be dehydrated. You're more likely to have less performance from your organs, and this results in it's wear and tear. It's age, but it's also about maintenance. So it's about maintenance. It's about maintaining your body, maintaining as much balanced levels as you can so that the body can function properly. I mean, your body has so many safety safeguards in it, built in, so many checks and balances and valves here, and reservoirs over here, and different counterbalances, and it's wonderful how the human body is designed. I mean, when you look at it from the outside, it looks, some of them may look wonderful, some of them may not look so good, but we're not judging. But the human body on the outside looks very compact and nice and sanitary, and and put together in a well thought out way. And I mean, that's how it is. But you peel away the skin and you look at the internal organs, and they're kind of gross, but they're packed in to a nice looking symmetrical exterior. You look at a human body, it looks symmetrical on the outside. On the inside, it's not symmetrical. You got one lung that's bigger than the other. You got a liver that's lopsided. You got a spleen and a pancreas, and other little things like epididymis hanging off, and you got all kind of little you got all kind of things. You got a small intestine and a large intestine, and the large intestine isn't really symmetrical at all. It's kind of packed like a car engine with the exhaust going at the back. The intake is at the front and the exhaust is in the back. But it's still a wonderful machine. But just like your vehicle, many and since men experience the most of hair loss, the majority of hair loss, that's where my research was focused, because I was focused on saving my own hair. So men don't pay enough attention to their bodies, pay enough attention to their diet, what affects them negatively, what causes them discomfort, and these things just I only got interested in these things later on in life. Imagine if I took care of my body properly from the beginning, or paid attention from the beginning. I mean, I didn't have good health care all the time. I mean, I started when I got a living wage job, I had health care probably when I was 29 years old. That's when I just had some health insurance. So, I did some physicals. I did body mass index checks. I did my LDL, and I think it's HDL. My cholesterol levels. Cholesterol isn't so bad. Fats are important too, and I need to discuss that, because you got different kind of fats. You got oils and fatty acids. Really, they're called fatty acids, not oils. Fatty acids. There's fatty acids that we consume, and that would have to be a separate episode. But what I really want to get to is that most men are going to experience hair loss, and I think it's due to not paying attention to our bodies. I mean, we have shorter lifespans. I guess our bodies are not that resilient, and I'd like to mention that research proves that testosterone increases your likelihood of getting sick, of catching a cold and stuff like that. So and testosterone is the thing. Well, DHT, which is a type of testosterone, is what causes which is what high levels or unbalanced levels of DHT is what is attributed to hair loss. So losing your hair might not indicate you losing prowess. It might indicate that you have a high testosterone level, and if that's a measure of prowess, then hair loss is like the inverse of that. Hair loss is almost proving that your manliness somewhat, or that you have an imbalance of a high level of testosterone. It's all a balance. So I would encourage men, if you have health insurance, get yourself checked out, have them check your levels. Maybe they I've never done this, but they could take a stool sample and determine what minerals you're deficient in. And I was looking at a statistic, no, not a statistic, but a post on Instagram by I think the page is called Perfect Hair Health, something to that effect. If you go to my TikTok, you'll see where I posted one of their posts. But people that experience I can't pronounce the word. I'm gonna call it tefephalum. That's not how it's spelled. That's not how it's even pronounced. But I'm gonna call it tefephalum. Tefephalum hair loss. People who experience tefephalum hair loss, don't quote me on that word. About 80% of them are deficient in vitamin D, meaning they're not getting enough sunlight, or they're not consuming enough vitamin D. And vitamin D, like I said, you get from sunlight, but strangely enough, there are these infrared hats that they sell to restore your hair that emit infrared, and over on the red side of the spectrum, light on top of your head, and to encourage hair growth. You could get around that by just getting a lot of sunlight, getting enough sunlight, and get sun exposure. Where human beings are so much of our lives are indoors at this time, that we're deficient in vitamin D. We're in our offices, we're in our cars, whatever. We rarely get a direct beam of sunlight to give us the nutrients that we need and to encourage our body to produce these things. So and I was gonna say, and to encourage our body to produce it, and the sunlight also allows us to sweat, so that our body can eliminate waste, like an earthworm. A earthworm eliminates waste through its skin, but don't quote me on that part. But I want to encourage everybody to take care of their body, get healthy, stay healthy, try to take care of yourself, make that sacrifice, make the right choices, start to look into or pay attention to what makes you feel sick and what makes you feel energetic or feel good. If something makes you feel sick, you should stay away from that. Find out why that is. If you can, do some research on it, but don't go crazy. You don't want to have Munchausen syndrome and start doing unnecessary medical procedures, but try to pay attention to your body, take care of yourself. Myself, I'm not the healthiest person at all. I definitely don't drink enough water. But I would like you to live long, and it's like I said, it's not all about hair. If you're losing your hair, you let it go. Or there's so many alternatives, but just be healthy, and health is beauty, really. Health is wealth. Health is everything. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And I think so many wise people have said that, and I'm not wise, but I've heard wise people say it, and I'll repeat it. Thanks for listening.